Good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching Morning at NTV. Stephen Imbidon Fefeswe Chibuga. I'm coming to you live from Chitezi, and this is Chadondo East. I'm going to be speaking to a lawyer and a politician. He is the member of parliament for this area, Chadondo East, Honorable Nkunyingi Muwada. Yesterday he came out on his ex-handle and let the world know that, and I quote, "I was forcefully chased by SFC from accessing the ongoing Commonwealth Conference. SFC soldiers had 710 opposition names, including mine." But I'm here with him. Let him explain what exactly happened at Munyonyo during the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference. Good morning to you, Honorable.
Good morning. True, I was invited to attend the Commonwealth Conference, Speakers Conference, and also for the record, I'm not only a member of Parliament for Chadondo East, I'm also the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, both the outgoing and the incoming Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. And principally, our role in the multi-party parliament is to take keen interest and offer alternatives on all matters of foreign policy and relations, among others, as provided for by our rules and our laws. I was invited as a member of parliament, but of course I also had to take my other role of following up, looking at the prospects of the conference with a view of also crafting and also advancing our alternative where necessary. Unfortunately, even after complying with all the requirements, I had an invitation card. I went through all the processes as they had put, because they required us to even make COVID tests, whereas I disagree, but I did it. I did it personally, whereas I disagree. Although at the entrance there was nothing like any requirement that required even COVID. Everyone who was coming actually entered, provided they had an invitation card. Because I woke up at the morning to go and tight mark, because this is, when we talk about Commonwealth, it's not all about Uganda. These are matters of foreign relations, by whatever interpretation you want to give it. So I woke up, I went to attend, I boarded the bus at Parliament, went to Munyonyo, and walked from down the restaurant behind the outgoing leader of opposition, Honorable Mpuga, and other MPs, towards now the venue. That was a tent in Munyonyo, and at the tent we had a checkpoint at the entrance to access the tent where the conference is being housed. Of course, the tent, to my dismay, was being manned by SFC soldiers. These are special forces soldiers, and some were in uniform, some were in plain clothes, suits, and masks. Now, they found me unsuspecting, because if I knew, maybe I would have questioned why they are surrounding us other sides. I just found myself being dragged. They surrounded me, very many of them, that you could not even see me. They were lifting me from inside their arms, because they were surrounding me, this side and this side. The way they moved me away from others, even those in front and those behind, could not notice easily. But as they pushed me the other side, there was an SFC soldier in uniform with a notebook with handwritten names. Because I insisted, why are you dragging me away? I'm a member of parliament, I'm invited, I complied, and other members are entering. So I looked at, as I insisted, the SFC soldier with the notebook said, asked me for my name. I first gave him one. He insisted and insultingly, tell me your second name. And this is parliament. Now, I told him my second name. He said, you're among those listed, you're not supposed to attend, you're not allowed to attend, and not ask questions. But of course, I continued to ask questions. As I continued, they dragged me off.
Which other names were on the list?
Of course, I saw other names. But at the right fall, I'll name what I saw. But I want to be cautious as a lawyer. I'll focus on my name, which actually they read in the notebook, and I saw it. At the right fall, because I've petitioned parliamentary leadership, that I want to present my case as well.
You were with the outgoing leader of opposition, Honorable Matthias Mpuuga. Did he see what was happening? What did he do? Did he even you even yourself raise an alarm to make sure that he sees what is happening?
As we entered, of course, we were all unsuspecting, and he was the one in front. He was the one in front. I was just following him. So he passed through, and as he was passing through, I was dragged this other side. At first, I thought maybe it is something simpler, and it was all about anything to do with the clearance. Little did I know that it was all about dragging me out and denying me access. Because here, near the entrance, where I raised the alarm, it took a few minutes. Once the man read in the book, he notified these others. They dragged me across the road. And it was only SFC surrounding the entrance. And they dragged me across the road to another grass compound and surrounded me still. I still raised the alarm. In fact, I saw, as they were dragging me, I saw one other member of parliament who was in charge of protocol and welcoming guests. One honorable, I think, Chivadia. He was in charge of protocol and welcoming guests. I raised the alarm that, please, these soldiers are dragging me away. Who is in charge? Who is from parliament to clear us? Because they are saying I'm not allowed to attend. Of course, when he went to consult, he didn't come back. I don't know what he didn't come back. I remained in detention of these SF soldiers for almost 30 minutes, as I complained. After 30 minutes, these soldiers invited others in uniform. There was a lady from SFC with radio calls who came and told who came angry and told me, I have instructions either to drag you out or you march out peacefully. You are not allowed to attend. They did not explain anything apart from the one who said he has a list of names not allowed to attend. So this was a very embarrassing experience. I had complied with all the requirements. They did not even account for any reason. Much as I insisted and I questioned, why would they single me out, especially as an MP?
As an MP, Honorable Mwadankunyenji, you and the 6 others, you claim that were on the paper. Did you have any sinister motive, maybe to disrupt this meeting? Because it is a common practice, not only in Uganda, but also across the world. Members of parliament, if they have anything to raise of any concern, they can rise up with placards or even cause some commotion around, maybe disrupt any proceedings. Did you have that sinister motive?
We know which fora to raise our concerns, and we should be treated as such. This was a fora where we had been invited, and I was cautious to say, I personally got interested in following up the proceedings as a shadow minister of foreign affairs, because part of my role is follow up on foreign policy, foreign relations, and draft or come up with our alternative under the bigger leadership of the leader of opposition. Secondly, we had no funds because they had taken away the funds. They had disarmed us with everything. It was out of the question. So we didn't have any other intentions. Much as we have matters of concerns we have as MPs, but we know what follow and in what order and procedure to address them. Equally, as members of parliament, we are under the broader and bigger leadership of the leader of opposition. So we have our organized approach whenever we want to raise any matter, and we know which fora and how to raise them. Indeed, we have issues, but we know when and how to raise them. Right. But when it comes to accessing parliament or parliamentary programs, we are assertive that parliament must be seen to be independent, and all programs must be independent as they ought to be.
Parliament being assertive, have you had any official communication from Parliament that this is the reason maybe why you were denied, or have they contacted you, or you even contacting them to see that this, because the meeting is supposed to end on Saturday, maybe you could attend today or tomorrow? Have they heard from you, or have you heard from them?
When I was being dragged by SFC, they did not tell me that we are dragging you and we are denying you access for only 1 day. It was a total denial. As well, me when I left the scene, I had to figure it on how to now come back to Parliament, because they had denied us even access by our vehicles. They had delivered us using buses. Now, when I found my way to Parliament, I raised these concerns to the Director of Communication. I found at Parliament that you would have communicated that to us as opposition, and specifically for us as some MPs like me.
How come other MPs were allowed in, like Honorable Mpuga?
It is not in my knowledge to explain. What I can only explain is that I went to Munyonyo. I even walked twice the tent. I was dragged out by SFC. I was denied access. So each member may have a different experience. I want to focus on my own experience, and I'm bold to say it out because it was done by SFC. Some of them were in uniform, some were in plain clothes. Two, I've raised my concerns to parliamentary leadership in various forums and to the leadership of the opposition. I'm still waiting for the response. But as well, when I was raising it to a one-body at Parliament, who is in charge of
who is the communication director?
Yeah, yes. Of course, he said sorry, but he said he's not yet briefed of what happened. He will find out. And he ended at that. So that is the best I can say. But me, I made efforts to raise it. But as well, I cannot end minus condemning SFC because Parliament must be seen, and parliamentary programs must remain independent. And if a member whenever a member of Parliament is to access parliamentary proceedings, I'm not supposed to be cleared by SFC.
You know, the SFC you continuously condemn has come out through the spokesperson Major Jimmy Omara, saying that they're denying all of this, and they say that you have to explain more to them and also to the world. Will you also, as a member of Parliament, bring this on the floor of Parliament?
Tell that commander that me, Muwada Nkunyenja, I'm an advocate course of judicature, and I'm an unelected member of Parliament and a shadow minister of foreign affairs. I challenge him to host me with him. It is my experience, not his words. I was dragged out, and I was at the scene. I was very sober, and I have raised these concerns. It is their business to deny. But it is my concern to raise what happened to me. It was embarrassing. They had no role in clearing me as a member of Parliament. I'm an elected member of Parliament, well gazetted. When I'm accessing parliamentary programs, it is not their choice to think through who to allow and who to deny.
Okay.
But by whatever reasons they may have, this is a multi-party parliament where we have members of Parliament from either sides and from different constituencies. It is not their business to sieve out those they think should not attend parliamentary programs. I was not going for a parade of SFC. I was going for a meeting and a conference of Parliament, and specifically of Commonwealth. It is disappointing. They must just apologize.
You know, as we try to wind up, I know this. Yes, crucial and important as it is having foreign dignitaries. You also tweeted a message that was coming from Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi calling for sanctions against General Yoweri Museveni and other top government officials. And this is a meeting that had foreign dignitaries who are coming from different parliaments. This was the right forum for you to raise some of these issues. Do you think the intentions of stopping you from accessing this meeting, this was also part of it, because the president was also attending, but also other dignitaries? Could this also be part of the reason?
By the way, under the law, I'm more relevant to parliamentary proceedings than Mr. Museveni, because Mr. Museveni is just a visitor to Parliament. I am a member of Parliament, and speakers of Parliament, even the visiting speakers, ordinarily are elected in most of the jurisdictions. They are elected from members of Parliament, at least across the Commonwealth, apart from a few countries where they have some speakers appointed externally and from outside Parliament. But most of these are elected from among members of Parliament. So I'm more relevant to parliamentary proceedings than visitors. Indeed, our concerns in terms of foreign relations and involvement of other countries are distinguishable. But these were largely members of speakers from across the Commonwealth, specifically, and when you look at them, majority are from the developing countries. Here we share common experiences. We are looking at parliamentary procedure and programs. Much as speakers are basically the custodians of rules of procedure, but being that they are elected from members of Parliament, they don't transact as individuals. They actually transact as a block of members of Parliament constituted in a quorum. So the relevance of members of Parliament to follow up, you can never know who is the next speaker. Okay. You can never know how parliamentary business are transacted. So we are more relevant in following up and advising these speakers, and also following up their views and their views, and also looking at how we can craft our alternative. We know how to raise our concerns and which fora to use. But I condemn SFC for dragging me out of a parliamentary conference and a parliamentary program, whereas I was invited, I was a member. Actually, they had no role. And Parliament must be seen to be independent. The legislature must be independent. This is an attack on the independence of Parliament. It's an attack on me as a person. I will condemn it and I challenge them.
Thank you, Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada, Member of Parliament for Kyadondo East, and also Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. Of course, is still expressing discomfort with the way he was treated yesterday, and he says he'll take it back to the floor of Parliament. And we shall be following this conversation and whatever transpires as the conference continues up to Saturday. Stephen Mbidon Fefeso Chibuga, handing you back to studio for Mwasize